Hey guys, just a quick update today. I saw that the channel went up 400 subs in 2 days, and that was because we got shared on a couple of cryptid channels and whatnot. So I've taken this winter's evidence from January until April, and I broke it down into the best parts, the most compelling parts. What did we actually record, video and audio wise? What was the most compelling stuff? Put it into a new video here. And this is kind of a summary of our work this winter. So that's what this video is. If you're a frequent viewer of the channel, then you don't need to watch this video. I would recommend that you guys go back and watch each individual episode, as there's a lot more stuff going on. I always fill in the gaps with what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. But this video here will give you the best of what we actually recorded. So here you go, guys. Good morning, guys. Unfrequented World, and I just wanted to show you the forest this morning. Absolutely beautiful and mysterious looking this morning. And the sounds always sound different on the recording versus what my ears are hearing. That whistle that was on here didn't sound like what I heard with my ears. It's just to prove that, hey, he did hear something, he's not crazy. That's why I amplify the sound and put it on here. On that note, I also want to talk about a parabolic dish. I'm starting to look, and I think that's a fantastic idea. I have a really good sound recorder that you can plug an external mic into, and that would be perfect for a parabolic dish. We'll maybe just go out and start sitting in the swamp and just recording sounds. I'd like to go out a little further away from civilization, get as clean of recordings late at night as we can, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, with the least amount of humans out there possible. We gotta get outside, guys. My neighbor just texted me, he's got a fire on. I went out on the deck and I heard screaming, and I thought it was kids yelling down the road. He just texted me and he says, dude, you should hear the screaming out back. It's not coyotes. We gotta go. Ah, crap, I forgot the parabolic dish. We need the dish.
My kid's screaming. No, came from over there, and now it's out there.
It's also a full moon tonight. I didn't grab the flashlight, I was in such a hurry to get out here, so. And the snow is over my knees. I heard it. My house is just over there, 100 yards. And I went out on the back deck because Tom texted me and said, I'm having a fire, do you want to come over? So I went to take a picture of the fire for him to say no, I wasn't coming over. And I heard the screaming. I thought it was his kids playing. So there's the fire over at Tom's place. They're pretty loud over there, so I don't know if that's going to pollute my recordings. If this thing starts up again, you'll know it was loud. I could hear it from the deck. It was like kids screaming and playing. Or fighting. I thought maybe they were fighting too. So I'm not sure what this is. It could be an animal. But I would sure love to get a recording tonight. I'm just going over audio data from last night. I left the parabolic dish out on the back deck, pointed straight towards our hotspot way back in the bush, and I just left it recording. I started recordings around 10 o'clock last night. I went through 2.5 hours of recordings last night, and I got a bit of, dogs barking and whatnot, but nothing out of the ordinary. Then I left the recorder running from midnight to 3. So that's the session we're working on right here. And boy, we got some weird stuff in there. I can't explain some of it. I don't know what a couple of these sounds are, but they're freaky. We have wood breaking. I have an animal crying, or maybe it's our screaming monster. I don't know. I've got some kind of animal noise as the wood is breaking. And then way off in the distance, I think we got our screamer. It's very faint. And I have to say that last night, the water was just dripping off the house like crazy because it's so mild. Plus 3 degrees last night. So these are not the cleanest recordings. You're going to need earphones to get into these. But hey, let's jump right in. And I'm still working through these recordings right now. So if I find anything else super duper clear and amazing, you guys will see my face back up here. But if not, here's the recordings. Out on the trail this morning. It's the day after we heard screaming in the bush last night. My neighbor had a fire, and I'm just going to walk the trail and look for tracks to see what kind of animals were around. Oh, that's weird. He's never done that before. Okay, that's really weird. Stop. It just goes to show you, you think you're alone, you know, you're a couple miles away, and you can still hear a ton of stuff. Once you hook up the parabolic dish, you realize there's activity, there's people, there's things going on. The highways, you know, 4 miles that way, skidoos 3-4 miles that way, and really it just shows you what's there that your ears aren't picking up. So you really have to go out to a much further distance out of town if you want to get good evidence, I guess, like good clear, something that you could say that 100% is not human. You know, you got to get out there far enough. I was hoping to see some light orbs or something, I don't know. And I don't know why I keep thinking that coming back here I'm going to see them, because I just saw that one flash the one day of something weird in the trees. But I don't know why, I just had a feeling, you know, if I keep coming back here, sooner or later I'd record something. And maybe, you know, maybe there's something on the GoPro, I have to go through the footage. Maybe there's something on this while I'm walking around with the parabolic dish. Maybe this caught something, I don't know. I'll go through all the footage. If I see anything or catch anything, it'll be on the channel. Had a long sleepless night last night. I heard some weird noises. I don't know what they were. It was like banging on the house. I don't know on what part of the house. It was like a plasticky sound. It wasn't like a tap on the window pane. It wasn't a tap on wood. Maybe the vinyl siding, but it was like a snap. Snap, snap. I heard it a couple times. And then I got up, did a whole investigation because I saw a weird light under my deck. It's hard to explain. It wasn't an orb. It wasn't a flash of light. It was like the underside of the deck lit up. So I got up when I heard this noise. I went to the washroom. And then I went to the window and I was looking out the window. And it was just like headlights or something lit up the underside of my deck. But my deck is at the back of my house. The road is 180 yards that way. There were no cars. I immediately went to the side of the house and looked, you know, is there a car, you know, way down the road? I've never seen the deck light up like that. It was just really weird. Anyway, I ended up doing an investigation. I didn't see anything with my own eyes afterwards with the camera. I had it in night mode. I went outside. I actually went on the deck. But then I got smart. And I left the recorder facing the back deck and I let it run for a couple hours. So I just went through an hour and 40 some minutes of video of a black screen. But I caught something. I'm not crazy. I caught something and here it is. I'm going to show you guys. I don't know what it is. Comments below, but I'm not freaking crazy. Something weird is going on. So you'll notice that the snapping, cracking sound happened again right before whatever that anomaly is appears. So I actually heard it 3 times. Twice before I started recording and then once during the recording. And this was about 20 minutes into the 2-hour recording. And that's all that I found on that tape. There was nothing else there, no noises, nothing. So strange. Let me know what you guys think. So my young hot wife turns 40 tomorrow. That sucks. Can hear screaming. You guys hear that? Something screaming over there. And today we're going to go out and hit the trail in search of anomalies. We're going to look for broken sticks, leaning sticks, or structures, or anything that's out of the ordinary, crossed sticks. I get asked all the time after we put out the parabolic dish, do you go look for tracks? Do you look for broken things? And I do. So today we're going to do that together. We're going to search the trail just for strange looking things and see if we can find anything that stumps even myself. I'll try not to be too analytical. Good luck with that, because that's just the way I am. But let's go for a walk and see what we can find. We got our first tree that's pulled down. This one right here. I'm leaving Analytical Gary out of this. This will be up to you guys to just decide what is what. I'm just going to show you. Here is our first tree pulled over. What's holding it down? Really? Nothing. It's not hooked on anything over there. It's just got a mighty curve to it. I'm not sure why. And that's, you know, right here in the backyard. It's like twisted. Right here on the trail, twisted off, number one. Right here, number two, we can see a bunch of stuff that's kind of pushed down. Actually, right there's a big stack of stuff all leaning against a tree. Why? I don't know. Analytical Gary just looks at stuff like that and says it's natural, but you tell me what. Actually, that doesn't, it does have a little weird look to it. Looks like they were all placed against that tree, but how or why? Don't ask me. I'm just showing you things on the trail. So all of that's right here in the first 50 steps down the trail. I have an open mind. That's why I'm showing you guys the stuff that's here. It's open so that at least I would consider that there's something weird going on. I mean, we've seen lots of weird stuff back here. I don't know. But in all honesty, I think it's natural. It's snow, it's whatever. I mean, it's weird, some of it. How do you get that one tree that bends over when all the rest of them aren't? And it's not like they have big amounts of top end that the snow can fill up and push them over. So I don't know. I can't explain that. And it's not like other trees have fallen on them and pushed them over, so I don't know. I'll admit it's weird, but I think it's natural. But so here's another one that's wedged between a tree. So did that just fall in there? I mean, it could have. I don't know. So, natural debris pile. Sure, there's a lot of loose ends right there sticking up. I don't know. There's 100 places that look just like this, you know? So it did snow this morning, only about an inch, but that covers all the tracks, so we can see anything that's new for sure. So we're 500 yards from the house now, and I saw these evergreens here, blue spruce. One's down right there, and there's another one right here. I just want to take a closer look at these. Why? Where did this... They're green, so they're not dead. Look at this. It's broken right off, but where is it broken from? That is a good question. So that's actually got to be the top of a tree. From up there somewhere. And I don't readily see where So where did that come from? Well, let's look at this actually. Okay, right here. One of these, that tree right there, is missing the top of it. So that tree right there is probably what dropped that. Probably. But then without touching anything here, this is broken off and sticking in the ground like a spear point down there, and it's frozen in there. So is that just, you know, some chaos from all of this stuff that's come crashing down? I would have to say yes. I don't know. Why, if that broke off of there, how did that end up there? Did the rabbits do it? It kind of looks like a rabbit house. You'd have to be a pretty small Bigfoot to get in that one. The rabbits must have built that. Again, I'm just pointing out some structures leaning on other structures. Bigfoot does not own a chainsaw, but Tom does. All right, one more just from the trail here. This one looks pretty big. But look at the bend on this sucker. That's a pretty big one. And really, it's just the balsam that's beside it here, all the little branches that it's hooked on. There isn't anything else holding it down. That's all kinds of these things. I mean, I don't know what's weird and what isn't. Look at this one, it's twisted. That's about 8 feet. And it's got a good twist to it. So I don't know. If I look hard enough, I could find weird things right on this trail. I would love to find something on this trail that just completely blows my mind. You know, stacked rocks or trees. The trees with the big ends up in the air, you know, making a teepee, something like that I've mentioned before. All of that stuff, I would say, is compelling. What I see here around me and on this trail is all random nature. It's basically winter chaos. Things falling down, getting blown down. And I'll just show you guys right here in front of me. If you were to look at this scene, there's so much going on there. You can't make heads or tails out of any of these structures. You know, how did they get there? What pushed what over? What had snow load on it? What didn't? There's a bunch of things hung up in this tree right here. You know, things tend to fall between other trees. I would guess that would have to be my statement on that, because we see that here over and over dozens of times. So that's just natural, even though it's crossed between those trees and making the necks. You know, that's completely natural, I would say. And you're allowed to disagree. That's why I'm showing you guys this stuff. If I was a biased person, I just wouldn't bother showing you the trail and the surrounding conditions. I would just say, nope, there's nothing there to see. So today's video is simply just to point out anything and everything along the trail, and you guys decide for yourselves. Do you think it's squatchy? Do you think it's natural? Or option C. I don't know what option C is. Tell me down in the comments below. So this is actually split. Still very strong. And this one goes up and it bends over and it's now hooked onto another spruce up there. What caused this to split? I don't know. Then we get to sections of the trail like this where it's even thicker. So if you were to try to get out in through there, There's a ton of stuff broken, snapped, bent over. So we've got a couple of things going on here. Right here we've got rabbits have been eating the bark, chewing the bark off of here. Down here on the ground. And this tree right here is missing all kinds of bark. This tree here and that tree right there. And I'll show you what this is. You can see the bark and you can actually see lines. Well, those are tooth marks. See all those little lines are tooth marks. Anyone hazard a guess as to what that is? We can see it right here as well. All kinds of lines right here. That's made from porcupine. So yeah, we have lots of porcupines here, especially out in the swamp, and that's what they do. They'll climb up the trees, you know, 7-8 feet, and they'll just feed right there where nothing else can get them. So porcupine. So another big spruce leaned right over. Now that could very much be snow load because there is a lot of branches with needles up there that would have held snow. So that one I would say could be snow load. Okay, so now this is weird. I'm gonna admit, guys, I've kind of shut you down a little bit here. I've got one here that's weird. I'm gonna turn the camera around because looking at my confused face isn't gonna help you decipher this. So we've got this big curve here. This one is bent over. And this actually is the exact spot. This corner is where the dog freaked out there a week ago. So look at that curve and look at this. This one looks as if it's been placed here. And it's holding that down. And I don't see, at first I thought this one broke off and fell over top of that one. I see two little ones that are broken right there and right there. But I don't know where this big one came from. So I will admit that one is odd. If we look at this scene, and I don't know if you guys can see this, this whole thing is weird. There's two little ones here that are broken and two more up here that are broken. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a little shiny piece of white right there, and then there's another one in behind. So there are 4. So this one, this tree right here is broken. And the one right behind it, that one right there is broken. And then we've got 2, that one right there is broken. And this one right here is broken. So 4 of them are snapped off up there. And what makes it strange is there's the granite pile I showed you guys. So we are right on that corner where Gage freaked out. So this is kind of like a spot where people talk about the marking trails and things. I'm not saying that that's what that is, but it's definitely a strange place to have the weirdest find of the day right on that corner where the dog freaked out.